Over the past couple of years, journaling has completely taken over the internet, and the latest craze has been the leather traveler's notebook or the Louise Carmen notebook, the Paper Republic journal. And you know what? I've kind of bought into the craze because today's the day I say goodbye to my trusty one notebook journal system and make my own leather journal. I'm so excited to take you guys along with me on the entire process from start to finish. I'm actually recording this intro at the end of the process, and let me tell you, it was so fun and so interesting. Having one of these leather traveler's journals to myself now is made all the more special by the fact that I made it by myself, or with the help of some friends as well. But I got to customize and pick out every single aspect of this journal, and not only that, I got to make every single aspect by hand. I'm standing here looking down at all of the journals that I made. Spoiler alert, there's more than one, but yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. Let's just get into the process. Let's do it. I'm so excited. Today's the day, guys. Today's the day that my journey of making a leather journal starts. I've been putting this off for a little while because I've grown so attached to this style of the Leuchtturm or Leuchtturm A5 journals. I'm honestly kind of sad to be covering them up in leather, but I want to do it. I think it's just going to work better for my journaling process, and today is the day I'm going to go buy some leather, number one, that's the most important thing, and then buy some notebooks to put inside. I'm hoping I can get this same brand again, but in a thinner, maybe more malleable notebook. Otherwise, I might go for moleskin. Otherwise, I might try something else. We'll see. That's what I'm doing today. I'm meeting Liv and Nina. Well, I'm picking them up because Liv has made these journals before, so she's gonna help, and then we're gonna make them all together this weekend, and obviously I'll show you guys the process. But I'm gonna bring this, obviously, for reference, and let's see if we can find some nice leather. All right, let's go.
Just need that.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm back home now, and I thought we could do a little haul of all of the materials that I found today. It was very, very successful. I couldn't film very much, but I did get a few shots in the leather store. That was so much fun picking things out there. And I came away very successful. Look how beautiful this piece of vegetable tan leather is. It's coming up, I think, a bit like more purpley ready on camera. It's this gorgeous dark brown that does have these kind of purple brown hints, but it's a bit less in person. This color really, really reminds me of the Venezia color from Paper Republic, which I've been seeing everywhere, and I was obsessed with that. If I was to purchase a journal, it would probably be that one, but I'm so happy that I found this huge piece. I found this whole piece for, I want to say, just over $60. When she first quoted it to me, the lovely lady that was helping us out, she said this was going to cost me $80. I was happy to pay that. She only charged me just over $60 for this whole piece, which I'm so happy about. I'm making a journal for me, a journal for my Zia, and I think, I don't know, I might make passport covers, I might make a big A4 journal, like, I'm gonna be able to make a lot with this, and it's beautiful and thick. And something that's really exciting after you pick out your leather color is obviously picking out your cord colors. Now, I got a couple of different options off of Etsy. These here, I got this, it says it was supposed to be a dark red. It's a bit bright for my liking. This would look amazing with this color, but I think what I'm going to use is this salmon color, and I just think, I mean, this is personally my favorite little combination, and the salmon has a little bit of a shimmer to it, which I think is fun and different. And I think with gold eyelets and gold hardware or brass, this is going to be so beautiful together. And I just got black just in case. So those are the very exciting things that I got. My friend Liv, who I'm going to be making the journals with alongside Nina, has all of the other materials that we need, so she'll bring those over on the weekend. Okay, and for the journals inside, I actually couldn't find any of the Leuchtturm soft cover ones in the colors that I liked with plain pages that were in stock, so I ended up just going for these from Moleskine. The annoying thing is that Moleskine has its own size. It doesn't come in like A5, A6, etc. So these are a little bit different to A5, for example. So I do still want to have an A5 notebook in the cover because I want this cover to be A5, not this Moleskine size. These colors, like the craft and the dark red, really nice. Gonna look so good with stickers. There's a pack of 3 of each, and again with this leather color. You guys are getting the vision. You're seeing the vision. An A5 notebook that I picked out. I wasn't expecting to get this. This is from Milligram. It's this Life brand, which is made in Japan, and I just fell in love with the paper. It's even creamier than the Leuchtturm and even Moleskine. It's this beautiful buttery creamy color. It's not going to come across on camera, I don't think. I think it holds the pigment pretty well. It still bleeds over to the next page, but not as much as the Leuchtturm, I believe. I really like this, surprisingly. And then from Milligram as well, they carry Traveler's Company. This is one of the little like plastic folios with a zipper kind of thing that you can put all of your photos and stickers and little bits and pieces that you collect along the way inside, and then you can sort of slip this in the elastic as well. Last thing I got was a little pen holder from Traveler's Company as well. I'm so glad they had this in store. This is another little leather pen holder, and what I love about this is that it's reusable, unlike the Leuchtturm ones. Those ones are a one and done, like once you're done with your journal, because they're just sticking on, you can't reuse them. But this has a little clip and this gorgeous little leather tab. You could definitely DIY something like this if you had the means, but I just picked this one up. So what you would do is you can just sort of flip it on to your notebook. You can clip it onto the leather itself. And yeah, it's perfect. I just grabbed one of my Muji pens, which are my favorite pens to use. And yeah, it's definitely a good size. I cannot tell you how excited I am to make this journal this weekend. I, in real time, have to wait, but you guys are gonna see the full process right now. It's journal making day, guys. I'm so excited to show you the process. I had my gorgeous friend Liv over, and Nina, of course, and we spent the whole day drinking matchas, eating treats, and making our dream leather journals. Before we get into it, let me show you everything you'll need to make your own dream journal. You can pause this part of the video and save a little list for yourself, but these are all the tools that you're going to need. It's actually not that much when you think about it. Aside from the leather, everything else is pretty cost effective, and you'll have enough material to make more than one journal. So the first step is obviously going to be measuring out your piece of leather. Now there are a bunch of templates out there online, but I'm just going to give you guys the dimensions that I used because I played with it a little bit, I eyeballed it a little bit, so I don't really know what to recommend for you, but I'll give you the dimensions that I used. And like I'm showing here, I wanted enough space for there to be a flap on both sides so that as my journal expands, there's still going to be leather to cover up my big hefty notebooks full of junk. Then it's really as simple as grabbing your ruler and cutting the leather with a really sharp scalpel or utility knife. You'll be surprised at how easy the leather is to cut. So now that I'm sure that my leather's at the right size, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners. This is optional. You can just grab something with a rounded base and mark it in pencil and then cut it out with the same scalpel. Be careful with this part, it's a little bit tricky. And then I like to go in with a little sander to clean up those edges, which works really well. The hard part here is going to be marking out where you want your eyelets to be. Now this will depend on how many eyelets you have, on the size of your eyelets, which you should really keep into consideration. So I'm just going to show you the dimensions of where I placed mine. You can copy that, you can do your own eyeballing, but yeah, then we get to the hammering. This is where we're going to be cutting out holes in the leather so we can put the eyelets inside and install them properly. So yeah, all of your eyelets that you buy should come with a tool like this, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You just hammer out a little hole in the leather, and then on the right side of the leather you're going to place the eyelet through. Flip your leather piece over to the inside, and they'll usually come with this little cap that you place on top of the inside hole and use the next tool to hammer in. I fear I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this, but I think the main thing to consider is you want to put the right side of the eyelet through the right side of the leather, so the shiny side, because that's the part that everyone's going to see, that you're going to see. So you obviously want the outside of the journal to match up with the right side of the eyelet, and then all of the like messy bits that you're hammering in stay on the inside. I mean, they don't end up looking that messy, but you get me. This is definitely the longest part of the process, especially if your tools are a bit blunt like ours were. So instead of making you sit and watch me hammer out the rest of these eyelets, let's have a quick word with the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. In this process of making a new journal, I've been thinking about all of the things I want to fill it with, and you guys know by now that Skillshare is one of my favorite platforms, a space built by creatives for creatives with hundreds of classes in countless categories. I love that on Skillshare you can find a class on any niche interest you may have, and I was so excited to explore all of the journaling related ones. This staff pick class called Illustrated Journaling 14 Days of Prompts immediately caught my eye because I thought it would be a fun way to break in this new journal of mine during this busy time when coming up with my own prompts and ideas can be overwhelming. So if you're also making or setting up a new journal, or if you just want to delve deeper into that niche creative interest of yours, Skillshare is the place to be. And as usual, I'm so grateful to be able to share with you guys that the first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Happy learning! Okay, we're back to finishing off making this journal, and I'm embarrassed to tell you guys how long it took me to hammer out these eyelets. I was using different ones that were a bit bigger than my tool, so it just took me so long. But now we're hammering the last one in, which is where you're going to put the cord that secures the journal closed. Now, as I sort of indicated it here, you can put it where the rest of the eyelets are along the spine, or the Louise Carmen ones actually have it on the back. But I like to have it on the spine so it's not interrupting me while I'm journaling. And I'm just marking out the point that is the middle of all of my eyelets. I like to do it at the end in case things get a bit wonky. And then same as last time, you basically just want to hammer that in and then you're done. And now you can add the cords. Finally, all the hard part is done. Now you just have to cut your cords and tie them in. And as I showed you guys before, I'm using this gorgeous salmon cord. It's pretty self-explanatory as well, this part. Basically, you're just going to thread the cord through so that it's not showing on the outside of the journal, just on the inside. That's why we've got the 2 rows of eyelets. And you just want to play around with the length so it's not too taut, but it's also not too loose to hold your journals inside. It's really going to depend on the size of your journals, but the great thing is you can tie and retie them as you need. I'd also recommend burning the edges of your cords so they don't get too frayed, and this is also the point where you should add your charms if you have any, so you don't have to keep undoing and redoing the cords up. And that's it, it's all finished. I can't believe we've made this journal from scratch together. Now let's set it up. Okay, grab a tea and get cozy, everyone, because it's journal setup and reveal day. This is the most exciting part of this whole video. We're at the end of the process where I can finally show you how I'm setting up my finished journal, how it looks. Now I can finally get started to using it. It's been a week now since I finished, and as you can see in my arms here, I didn't just make one journal. We made plenty, and that's the great thing about doing this DIY by yourself, because when you buy a piece of leather, when you buy all of the materials, you can make as many as you want, or as many as that piece of leather allows. So I paid just over $60 for my big piece of vegetable tan leather, and I made 3 big journals and 2 passport covers, and I have another journal that I made out of another piece of leather that Nina bought. But let's just get into it. Let me show you. I'm going to show you my main completed journal first and how I'm setting it up, all of the details, and then I can show you the other ones that I made. Oh my god, guys, I can't believe I finally got this in my hand. Okay, so here she is in all of her glory with the beautiful chocolatey maroon brown leather with the salmon pink cord, and I did end up finding some really cute charms for the front of my journal. I love charms. So I don't have just one, I don't have just two, I've got 3 on the front. The first is these little cherries, beaded cherries from Pura-Uts. I had to put them on there. And then I have this juicy big glass heart that I got in Murano in 2023. I love this so much. I was using it as a pendant for a necklace. I think I'm gonna get a lot more use out of it on my journal, and I know that it means I have to be a little bit more careful with my journal, but it is quite thick and sturdy. And if I break it, it's just another excuse to go visit Venice. And then I have a little E for Elena from Zaze Zaze Jewels, a Palestinian Adelaidean jeweler who's amazing. Don't have any charms on the side as of yet, but as you guys can see, I've got the 3 rows of the eyelets for 3 different notebooks inside. So shall we get inside? Shall I show you what's inside? Okay, so we'll open it up, and as you can see, we made the really substantial double flap here, and what that means is if your journals, or when your journals get really chunky inside, it's gonna leave you plenty of room so it doesn't have the leather like looking like this, like not being able to close over your chunky journals. That was really, really important to me. I really wanted to have a nice long piece so that the journal could close fully as notebooks grow over time. So the first thing that you can see is this little plastic sleeve, and this is something that I bought from Milligram in the city from the Travelers Company notebook, I believe. And I've just got my little Polaroid printouts in here from my new Instax printer, which I'm so obsessed with. I love it so much. If you want to see more about that, I posted a TikTok unboxing. And then I've got this gorgeous red moleskin cashier journal, I believe they're called. This is just going to be for like my everyday note taking, like to-do lists, things that aren't that pretty that I, don't want to have in my proper journal and diary. And then on the back of that, I have this little pen holder that I showed you guys. That's also from Travelers Company, I believe. And the pen that I'm using right now is this Pentel Energel Liquid Gel Ink 0.7 pen in brown, which I really love, a really inky brown pen. It's so nice for drawing. It's just really fun to write with. So that's what I've got. And then this is just the back of the sleeve here, and it has a nice little zip pocket where you can put in all of your things. And then this is gonna be my journal, I think, for now. Like I mentioned to you guys, I got them to order in some of the Leuchtturm journals, but they haven't come in yet, and they didn't have any of the softcover ones in colors that I liked. So I went for this Life notebook, which, yeah, I'm really excited to use and try it out. And that is everything. I've still got a spare little elastic here. I don't know if I'm going to put anything else in it at the moment, but keeping it simple for now. I'll see how I go once I actually start using it, and I can't wait to customize it even more. I still haven't added stickers obviously onto my journals, which I think I'm going to film a TikTok of me doing that, of course, but that's my girl. That is my big journal, and I'm just, I don't know. I'm so happy with her. The leather feels so nice and substantial and soft and smooth, and I can't wait to see it age. And yeah, I fell in love with this so much that I had to make more. So let me show you guys the other things that I made. So first of all, I made a completely identical one for my auntie, for my Zia, and I'm gonna give this to her when we meet up in Italy, and it's gonna be the perfect like matching journals for our Italian summer. It's gonna be so nice, and we'll be journaling at the cafe together every morning with these. So she has a matching one that she can customize with extra notebooks with, her own charms that she might collect on the trip. So a really nice fresh matching one. And then I made another matching one. This is interesting to see, like the piece of leather before you sort of put the books in and everything. This one is going to be for my cousin Ella. Now all of my cousins except her have these leather notebooks, and I didn't want her to be left out, so I made her one. And this one has different eyelets. I chose silver for her because I think she wears silver. And then this is so cute. I thought this was such a good idea, especially with the like leftover scraps of leather that you have. I made a little passport holder, which is so cute. It's gonna be so good to keep my passports safe and in the same place. Isn't she adorable? I chose the dark red burgundy cord for this one. I think it looks so good with this color of leather. And then on it, I have this little evil eye charm that I think will be good protection for travel and for my passports. This was gifted to me, this charm. And I have this little star charm that my friend Amber made, who, yeah, she gifted that to me as well. And I think they look so cute on here together. And guys, inside here, I actually have my renewed Italian passport. I just picked this up like 20 minutes ago. I obviously had one before, but it was out of date by like, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years. I'm so incredibly lucky and privileged to have this. I just changed the laws, so you can no longer get them if you're getting them through your grandparents, I believe, which is how I obviously got mine. Both of my grandparents on both sides were born in Italy, very connected to Italy, and as you guys know, and it just, I'm so happy to have this. I feel so lucky, and obviously I want to live there for some of my life or a lot of my life at some point, so having this is a necessity. And then I've obviously got my Australian passport, so I have the 2 rows of eyelets on either side. And then you can just slip your boarding pass in there when you need it. And yeah, I thought that was a really cute idea. So I actually also made one for my Zia. I need to get more cord for that as well. And my other cousin who's going on a trip, and we all have Italian passports and Australian passports too. So they both have the same 2 eyelets. I can't wait to put the cords in these and gift them to my cousins and my Zia. I think they're gonna be so excited. The last journal I made, this is actually just a case, a holder. It's not necessarily a journal per se. This is for my watercolors and my watercolor set for traveling, which I don't know, I just came up with this idea. I thought, well, we've got all this leather, we may as well use it. Nina bought this gorgeous red leather. This isn't vegetable tan, it's like quite processed and shiny, as you can see, which means it's going to be very sturdy and hardy, which I think is perfect for this. But on the inside, it's this beautiful hot pink. Like, isn't that stunning? I've got these, which are from 2 earrings actually that I repurposed. I used the same dark red cord for this. And then inside, I have my travel watercolor set, and this actually shuts over one of the elastics, which I think is really nice. And then I have this gorgeous watercolor paper that I bought in Milan last year. It's so stunning. I'll give you guys obviously a close-up. Yeah, this is going to be much easier to carry around in my bag and just much neater. I'm such a fan of organization and things like that, so I'm so happy about that. So this is everything that I made, which I'm so excited about. I'm a bit sad to let go of my old journaling system, but I'm excited to try something fresh, something new. I'm really excited for this to grow with me over time, to change to patina, to be a real like reflection of the journey that I've lived, the life that I've lived. So yeah, I highly recommend making your own leather journal. Like if you have the time, and if you don't have the money to buy Louise Carmen, a Paper Republic, or even a traveler's notebook, it's such a fun activity to do with your friends. And yeah, I'm so excited to get this video up and out for you guys about this, and to show you my journey with this journal when I travel and when I go away. So that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you want to see my travels and my journey with this, if you're new here, please like and please subscribe. I'd love to have you on this beautiful community that we have here, and I'd love to have you along on the journey. And for my returning subscribers, I'm so sorry this is a little bit late. I'm so sorry I haven't posted in a while. Life has been crazy, life has been hectic, but I can't wait to get back to it. And yeah, I'm just so happy. So I will speak to you guys soon. Bye.